In many ways, the world is changing for the better. Not long ago, it would have been unheard of to get into a stranger's private car, but now, because of Uber and Lyft, we do it all the time. We save money and get more convenience in the process. In the past, staying in someone's home when we travel would have been unheard of, but the vacation rental industry and sites like Airbnb have completely changed that and given us many more options while creating a lot more wealth for individual homeowners. I could go on and on with other examples of how changes in attitudes and technology have shifted the way we do business and made our lives much better. I'm sure you can also think of many other examples. One industry that is ripe for disruption and improvement to make your life better is the senior care industry. We've known for a long time that people age better in place, in their own home. In other words, whenever possible, seniors are better off staying at home with the help of family or professional in-home caregivers. For the last several decades, the need for in-home caregivers has grown dramatically, and that need has been filled by hundreds of agencies in almost every community. These home care agencies hire caregivers and then place them in the homes of seniors for a predetermined number of hours each week. It's a marvelous option that has benefited millions of families. But the business has become increasingly difficult for clients, caregivers, and agency owners. There have been changes in regulations that have altered the industry tremendously. Inflation, including escalating wages, has put a lot of pressure on costs of service. Labor shortages have further driven up costs and made the business much more difficult. But while all of this has been happening, there have been tremendous changes in technology that allow independent caregivers to contract directly with the family. This cuts out the middleman, the agency, and allows families to save 30 to 50% on the costs. It allows the caregivers to earn more and have a more satisfying relationship with the family. It allows for families to find and contract for services that were not easily available through agencies, such as 24/7 care, situations where more medical skills are required, extended hours or odd shifts, and so many more unique situations. Most of all, it puts you and your family back in control of the care. You get to make the decisions and ensure the right level of care is being rendered for your loved one. Of course, this option has been available for a while, but there were tremendous risks involved in directly hiring caregivers. Criminal behavior, lack of insurance, payroll and tax implications, and more made it a bad idea to bypass the traditional home care agencies. In fact, it still can be problematic to, quote, go it alone. But that's where Hallmark Homecare comes in. We take the unacceptable risk out of hiring independent caregivers. We're caregiver headhunters. When you contract with us to find you one or more caregivers to hire, we start by interviewing you to determine your complete care needs. We then use that profile to find several caregiver matches, and we introduce them to you. We do extensive background checks on all of our placements. We make sure that the appropriate insurance is in place. We make sure that payroll is handled well. And we share with you all of the best practices and tools to manage private caregivers effectively. In fact, if you prefer, we can even handle many of the management activities for you. And by the way, the caregivers love it. In fact, many of the traditional agencies are having trouble finding caregivers that want to work for them. But we have lots of very qualified independent caregivers that are anxious to be a part of our registry. They are typically the cream of the crop in their education, experience, and skill level. They earn more, they typically get more hours, they have more respect from you and your family, and they love the direct relationship they have with you. So when you work with Hallmark Homecare, you get the best of all worlds. You get outstanding caregivers that are screened and matched to your needs. You get to make the decisions about who to hire and when to schedule them to work. You get to control the relationship going forward with caregivers that are more fulfilled. Meanwhile, you have us to take most of the risk and handle the nitty-gritty details of doing a search, vetting the caregivers, making sure the right insurance is in place, setting up payroll, and then helping you to manage the relationship. And you get to save money. For all of these reasons and more, it's the right time for our service. Fill out the contact form below and one of our team members will contact you to schedule a meeting and go over the details. Thank you for your interest. We look forward to serving you and your family.